Top 10 countries that pay people to retire in tiny homes in 2026, and 5 that will quietly empty your bank account instead. Right now, villages in Italy are handing out homes for €1. Islands in Ireland are offering over €80,000 to anyone willing to fix up a stone cottage. And Greece will slash your pension taxes to almost nothing just for showing up. But not every country on those viral lists deserves your suitcase. A few of them look like paradise on Instagram and feel like a financial trap by month 3. So today we're covering both, the 10 that reward you and the 5 to run from. Welcome back to Restful Wealth, where retirement dreams get real addresses. One quick note, these programs change fast, so always verify the details before you book anything. All right, let's get into it. Number 10, Albania. The Adriatic's best-kept secret is still, somehow, a secret. Tucked between Greece and Montenegro, Albania gives you Mediterranean coastline, mountain villages, and centuries-old stone houses in towns like Gjirokastër and Berat that cost less than a used golf cart back home. Americans can stay up to a year without a visa, which is basically the immigration equivalent of a warm hug. And small is the whole point here. A compact one-bedroom apartment near the beach in Saranda or Vlorë can run $300 to $400 a month, and a full dinner at a family-run taverna costs about what you'd tip in Miami. Spend a morning in Ksamil where the water looks photoshopped, then sip a 75-cent espresso in a town square where nobody is in a hurry. Even furnishing your place barely dents the budget, since local craftsmen still build solid wood furniture for less than a flat-pack bookshelf costs back home. Albania won't hand you a government check, but it pays you in a different currency, and that currency is keeping almost everything you already have. Low crime, famously hospitable locals, and enough young English speakers that you'll rarely feel lost. It's the starter country on this list, but the next one adds something Albania can't, a tax shield. Number 9, Uruguay. This is the country that never makes headlines, and that's exactly the appeal. Uruguay is one of the safest, most stable democracies in Latin America, and it does not tax your foreign retirement income, your social security, your pension, your 401k withdrawals. They land in your account fully intact. Now pair that with the tiny living scene along the coast. Small beach casitas in La Paloma and Punta del Diablo, simple wooden cottages a short walk from the Atlantic, where the biggest traffic jam involves a fisherman and his dog. Healthcare runs through private co-ops called mutualistas, where a modest monthly membership buys you modern, well-run care. Montevideo's long seaside promenade, the Rambla, stretches for miles along the water, and locals walk it every evening like a national ritual. The country also ranks near the top of Latin America for rule of law and low corruption, which matters more than any beach when your entire income arrives from abroad. Uruguay doesn't shout. It just guards your money while you sip mate on the sand. However, if you want your dollar to stretch even further, we need to cross the Pacific. Number 8, the Philippines. Over 7,000 islands, white sand beaches, and a government that genuinely wants retirees to move in. The Special Resident Retirees Visa, the SRRV, is one of the most generous programs in Asia. It comes with multiple entry privileges, exemptions on certain taxes, and discounts on medical care and government fees. Qualifying is refreshingly simple. A bank deposit that starts around $10,000 if you're drawing a pension, and the visa stays valid as long as you keep it in place. And living small is simply the culture here. Native-style cottages and compact modern homes near Cebu or Palawan put you steps from turquoise water for a fraction of a studio apartment in Phoenix. Many expats live comfortably on under $1,200 a month, with room left in the budget for island hopping. A private hospital visit in Cebu often costs less than an American copay, and a housekeeper twice a week fits into even a lean retirement. English is everywhere. Doctors are often US or European trained, and Filipino culture treats elders with genuine respect. You'll sweat through a few shirts in that humidity, but your bank account stays cool. And speaking of respect for retirees, the next country wrote it into law. Number 7, Ecuador. This is the country where being retired comes with legal superpowers. Ecuador's constitution protects senior discounts on public transportation, utilities, airfare, and even movie tickets. Half-price bus rides through the Andes, cheaper electric bills, discounted flights, all simply because you've earned your gray hair. Most of those benefits kick in at 65 and they're written into law, not left to a store manager's mood. Foreign retirement income isn't taxed, and the cost of living lets many expats thrive on $1,200 a month or less. The tiny home angle here is beautiful. Small adobe casitas in colonial Cuenca or the famous valley of Vilcabamba, where locals in their 90s still stroll to the market and will happily outpace you. Cuenca itself deserves a closer look, a UNESCO city of cobblestone streets and flower markets sitting at 8,000 feet, with one of the largest American retiree communities in South America already settled in. Spring-like weather in the highlands means you'll never own a furnace, an air conditioner, or a snow shovel again. Ecuador treats your age like an asset instead of a liability. But if being a 5-hour flight from the grandkids matters, the next stop is much closer to home. Number 6, Mexico, the reigning champion of convenient retirement. From most U.S. cities, you can land in Mexico in under 4 hours, which means the grandkids, your favorite dentist, and Thanksgiving dinner are never far away. Residency for retirees with stable income like Social Security is refreshingly straightforward, and the healthcare story is genuinely impressive. Internationally accredited private hospitals in Guadalajara and Mérida with English-speaking doctors at 30 to 70% less than U.S. prices. Now, the tiny living scene. Charming casitas around Lake Chapala, compact colonial homes in Mérida, and small beach bungalows on the Pacific coast, all at costs that can run 50 to 70% below the U.S. Around Lake Chapala, the village of Ajijic hosts one of the largest American retiree communities anywhere, so the move comes with a built-in social circle, and the climate there stays mild all year. Warm days, cool nights, and almost nothing in between. It's the rare retirement move that doesn't ask you to give anything up. However, the next country takes the discount concept and turns it into a lifestyle. Number 5. Panama. If retirement perks were an Olympic sport, Panama's Pensionado Visa would be standing on the podium. This program hands retirees up to 50% off entertainment and travel, big discounts on medical services, and reduced utility bills. Qualifying takes a lifetime pension of just $1,000 a month, which means Social Security alone gets many Americans through the door. It's the kind of membership card that makes an AARP discount look like a coupon for free coffee. Panama also doesn't tax foreign income, and the whole country runs on the US dollar, so prices read exactly like they do back home. For tiny living, look at the mountain town of Boquete, where small coffee country cottages sit in eternal spring weather, or compact condos near Coronado Beach. Boquete sits at about 4,000 feet, so you get tropical scenery without tropical sweat, and the flower gardens there grow like they're showing off. Panama City brings modern hospitals and infrastructure when you need them, and a large English-speaking expat community means finding a doctor, a plumber, or a Friday card game never requires a translator. Panama is retirement optimized, but it still doesn't hand you cash for moving in. The next 4 do, starting with Europe. Quick pause. If this list is already rearranging your retirement plans, hit subscribe. Every week on Restful Wealth, we break down the visas, tax breaks, and destinations that make retiring abroad actually doable. Now, the 4 countries that actually write checks. Number 4, Spain. While tourists mob Barcelona, rural Spain is paying people to move into its emptying villages. Small towns across Asturias, Galicia, and Aragon have offered relocation money and dirt-cheap village houses to new residents willing to bring life back to sleepy streets. Spaniards call it España vaciada, the emptied Spain, entire regions where schools closed and stone houses sit waiting for someone to love them again. That's your opening. The mountain town of Ponga made headlines for offering cash to newcomers, though the program was built mainly with young families in mind, so retirees should confirm eligibility before packing a single box. Even without the grants, compact stone homes across the countryside sell for less than a mid-size SUV, and in parts of Galicia, entire abandoned hamlets have been listed for less than a condo down payment in Florida. Retirees enter through the non-lucrative visa, which welcomes anyone with stable income like a pension. You'll need private health insurance to get that visa, but once residency is established, Spain's public healthcare system, one of Europe's best, opens up, and the daily math is glorious. $3 bottles of wine, fresh markets, sunshine most of the year, and neighbors who plan their entire day around lunch. But one country nearby decided to compete on taxes, and it plays to win. Number 3, Greece. Here's a sentence worth reading twice. Greece offers foreign retirees a flat 7% tax rate on pension income for up to 15 years. 7% locked in while you live surrounded by olive groves and the Aegean Sea. The mechanics are simple. Move your tax residence to Greece, draw your pension from a country that has a tax agreement with Athens, and that single-digit rate covers your foreign income across the board. And some Greek islands have gone even further. Tiny Antikythera, with fewer than 50 residents, has offered newcomers help with housing and monthly stipends to repopulate the island, though that program mainly targeted young families and tends to come and go, so treat it as a bonus, not a plan. The tax rate alone carries this entry. Whitewashed island cottages are practically the original tiny homes, thick stone walls, walls, blue shutters, and a courtyard sized for exactly one table, two chairs, and a bottle of ouzo. Look past the postcard names, too. Islands like Naxos and Lefkada offer small village houses far below Santorini prices because the famous islands are for tourists and the affordable ones are for people who actually stay. Add 300 days of sunshine, some of the healthiest food on the planet, and ferry rides instead of freeway traffic. Greece is underwriting your retirement. However, if you want the single biggest check on this entire list, look north and pack a raincoat. Number 2, Ireland. This one sounds made up, and it's not. Through its Living Islands policy, Ireland has offered grants of up to €84,000 to people willing to buy and renovate derelict homes on its offshore islands. Places like Arranmore off the coast of Donegal. €84,000. That's not a discount, that's a down payment on a whole new life. The catch is honest work. These are abandoned stone cottages that need real renovation, and island living means ferries, wind, and weather with a personality. There's more fine print worth knowing because the house generally needs to have sat empty for at least 2 years, and the grant reimburses renovation costs after the work is verified, so you'll front some money before Dublin pays you back. The grant is also open to anyone willing to restore a home, so you're competing with families and remote workers, not just fellow retirees. But imagine the payoff. A restored cottage above the Atlantic, peat fire going, a pub within walking distance where everyone knows your name by week 2. Ireland also charms in quieter ways, English spoken everywhere, familiar groceries on the shelves, and a healthcare system you can navigate without a phrasebook. For retirees with some renovation budget and a romantic streak, no country writes a bigger check. So what could possibly beat free money from Ireland? Only the country that turned paying retirees into a national art form. Number 1, Italy. Italy practically negotiates with you to retire there. Across Sicily, Sardinia, and the southern mainland, dozens of depopulating villages have sold homes for €1 to anyone committed to renovating them. The deals usually ask for a renovation plan and a refundable deposit of a few €1,000s, with the work finished within about 3 years, which keeps out speculators and rewards people who actually move in. Towns like Presic and Puglia have offered up to €30,000 to new residents. And then comes the closer. Italy's flat 7% tax regime for foreign retirees, which can shrink your tax bill to a rounding error. It applies when you settle in a southern town of under 20,000 people, across regions like Puglia, Calabria, and Sicily, and it runs for up to 9 years. In other words, the very same villages giving away houses are the ones offering the tax break. These €1 homes are tiny by design, compact stone houses stacked along medieval lanes, and fixing one up means your morning coffee comes with a view of vineyards and church bells. You can walk Roman ruins before lunch, sip a glass of Primitivo at sunset, and grow tomatoes that will ruin supermarket produce for you forever. Cash grants, €1 homes, and a 7% tax rate. Nobody else stacks all three. That's why Italy wears the crown in 2026. Now, before you start packing, we need to talk. Because for every country rolling out the red carpet, there's one rolling out a welcome mat over a trap door. Here are 5 that look incredible online and cost you dearly in real life. First, Switzerland. You've probably seen the headlines about the alpine village of Albanen paying new residents around 25,000 francs per adult, plus 10,000 per child. What the headlines skip is the fine print. Applicants generally need to be under about 45 years old, which rules out most retirees on day 1. You also commit to living there for at least 10 years and investing a couple €100,000 in a home, or the village can ask for its money back. And all of that drops you into one of the most expensive countries on earth, where a casual dinner out can cost more than a week of groceries in Ecuador, and mandatory health insurance runs hundreds of francs a month before you've seen a single doctor. Beautiful mountains, brutal math. Second, Japan. The famous IKEA, millions of abandoned countryside houses selling for almost nothing, sometimes even given away. Sounds like tiny home heaven. In reality, many of these homes have sat empty for decades, which means rotten beams, outdated wiring, and earthquake retrofits that can cost more than the house itself. Add up the contractor quotes, and that free house becomes a 6-figure renovation project with a roof on it. The cheapest ones sit in remote villages where the last bus route closed years ago, and the nearest hospital is an hour's drive. Then comes daily life, because banking, healthcare, and government paperwork in rural Japan happen almost entirely in Japanese. Japan is a wonderful country to visit and a genuinely hard place to retire on a modest budget without serious preparation and serious cash. Third, and this one hurts, Portugal. For years it was the golden child of retirement abroad, and the old videos still circulate, including some of ours. But the famous NHR tax program closed its doors to new pension applicants, and its replacement leaves retirees out entirely. Meanwhile, a decade of foreign demand sent housing prices in Lisbon and the Algarve through the roof, with rents in the capital now rivaling mid-size American cities. You can still retire in Portugal on the D7 visa, and the country remains safe, sunny, and genuinely lovely. It just no longer pays you to show up, and building your budget around a tax break that died is how retirees blow through their savings in year one. If a video promises you the NHR, check the upload date. Fourth, Thailand. Gorgeous beaches, wonderful food, and a retirement visa with strings attached everywhere. The standard route asks you to park roughly 800,000 baht, around $22,000, in a Thai bank, keep most of it sitting there year-round, and renew the whole arrangement annually with fresh paperwork. Some visa types also require health insurance priced by age, and those premiums climb fast in your 70s. Then there's property. Foreigners can't own land outright, so that dream bungalow usually sits on a 30-year lease or inside a condo quota, which is shakier legal ground than most videos admit. Thailand is a phenomenal place to spend a winter. As a forever plan for a modest pension, it demands more paperwork, more locked-up cash, and more legal risk than anything in our top 10. And fifth, Dubai. The retirement visa exists, but look at the entry price. Qualifying typically means owning property worth around 1 million dirhams, holding savings in the neighborhood of $500,000, or proving a monthly income most pensioners simply don't have. Clear that bar and your reward is a city where summer feels like the inside of a hairdryer for 4 months straight, where air conditioning is a survival expense, and where one casual brunch can cost more than a week of living in the Philippines. There's no discount culture for seniors and no path to citizenship. Dubai is built for people who arrive rich and plan to stay that way. So here's the pattern behind everything you just watched. The countries worth your suitcase share 3 things: real cash or tax incentives, low daily costs, and a culture that treats retirees as an asset. From Albania's $300 apartments to Ireland's €84,000 grants to Italy's €1 homes, living smaller abroad can mean living far richer than you ever could at home. The traps share a pattern too: viral headlines with fine print underneath. Next week, we're breaking down exactly how much monthly income you need for each of our top 3, line by line. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and drop your dream country in the comments. Until then, live simply, dream big, and read the fine print before the brochure.